We have more for your ears only. I'm Catherine Herzog.
I'm David Alpern with this quote from the news. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, actually in several lifetimes. That was Johnny Van Heften, a London art dealer, on the possible sale of The Wedding Dance, a painting by Peter Bruegel the Elder, among more than $500 million worth of art at bankrupt Detroit's Art Institute. Also last week, the city's emergency manager, Kevin Orr, turned over much responsibility to Mayor-elect Mike Dugan as part of a return to normalcy. Now this.
He's going to say, we have to talk business. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dollar, can me and the man talk about business here?
Good morning, Theodore.
Good morning.
You have a meeting in 5 minutes. You want to try getting out of bed? Get up!
You're too funny. I know you're living in my mind.
Theodore, I saw in your emails that you'd gone through a breakup recently.
You're kind of nosy.
Am I? You'll get used to it.
Two women who know their men, though only one is real. First, Hollywood's latest it girl, Academy Award-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence, predicts the coming con of Christian Bale in American Hustle, a fictionalized version of a real FBI sting operation, and Scarlett Johansson as the sympathetic, supportive, and sensual voice of Samantha, a computer operating system that becomes devoted to its shy owner, Joaquin Phoenix, in the critically acclaimed film Her.
As studios roll out their best films in hopes of qualifying for big awards, as well as filling theater seats over the long holiday break, the choices can be overwhelming. Film historian and critic Marshall Fine of HollywoodandFine.com has sat through the good and the bad this season, and for your ears only, he joins us again to offer up some guidance. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Let's start with American Hustle, directed by David O. Russell. What's the real-life story behind it?
This was a 1970s case where the FBI hired a con man to set up a sting involving an Arab sheik to try and bribe American congressmen. It was known as Abscam.
You call American Hustle a real showcase of strong performances. How does the less heroic side of Jennifer Lawrence play, as well as a nerdy Christian Bale?
Well, Christian Bale's amazing. I mean, this is a guy who, in the very first scene, you see him constructing a comb-over. I've never seen that done before, and boy, it was an eye-opener. And Jennifer Lawrence is great. She's brash. She's brassy. It's a completely, it's a very different character than the one she played in Silver Linings Playbook or in any of the Hunger Games movies.
And their co-stars?
Oh, well, I mean, you've got Bradley Cooper as an FBI agent with real anger management issues, and he's got great scenes with Louis C.K., who plays his boss, it's a great part for him.
Let's turn to Her. You call it a daring piece of work. Besides using only the voice of Scarlett Johansson and not her body, what qualifies it for that accolade?
Well, earlier this year, the film Before Midnight with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy raised eyebrows, as their earlier films did, because it was a film completely conversations between two lovers talking back and forth. That's a lot of what Her is, except that you never see one of the characters, and yet you're completely caught up in this relationship.
You think this film will change how the rest of us feel about our smartphones, make them more appealing or a bit dangerous as seductive techno-emotional traps?
Well, I don't know anybody who's having these kind of conversations with Siri, but I will say that this is less about technology than about just sort of the inability of human beings to really communicate and connect with each other, and the fact that one of these characters is, in fact, a computer operating system really highlights that fact and makes it a really fascinating film.
Okay, so comedian Will Ferrell is back in the TV spotlight as Ron Burgundy in the very much hyped Anchorman 2. Do you think the sequel delivers as many laughs as the original?
To put it bluntly, no.
What?
I thought the original was okay. It was funny, inconsistently, but funny enough to keep you watching. This one, I didn't laugh at all the way through it. Maybe, I think it's going to be huge with the audience, but boy, I didn't get any laughs out of it.
What did you think of so many in the mainstream media who played into the hype, promoting Burgundy as a real-life TV news colleague rather than the mockery of one that he really is?
To be honest, the stuff that Will Ferrell did on local news shows and in commercials is so much funnier than anything in the movie. They should have put that out as the movie.
Brother filmmakers Joel and Ethan Coen bring a blast from the past with Inside Llewyn Davis, set in the 1960s Greenwich Village folk music scene. TV ads don't make me care much, even though I, like Llewyn, sometimes travel with a great red tabby cat. What do you...
This is fascinating stuff. The Coen brothers really capture a moment just before the big folk music revival in the early 60s that brought us Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and many other people. But Llewyn Davis, played by Oscar Isaac, it's a breakthrough role for him, and it's a fascinating character because he is a purist, but he's also kind of a prickly guy that not many people like, who doesn't do himself any favors. It's a really fascinating story.
One holiday film, a musical, actually, that I have yet to see much about is one that you really liked, Black Nativity. Can you tell us about it?
It's based on a play by Langston Hughes. It's directed by Cassie Lemons, and it's a surprising musical with Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett, about a kid who meets the grandparents he's never met because they chased his mother out when she got pregnant out of wedlock. It's a movie about reconciliation, and it's got a great gospel soundtrack that lets Jennifer Hudson really sing for the first time since Dreamgirls.
Any other recent releases that you're particularly high or low on?
I'm very high on Nebraska, the film by Alexander Payne. I like Philomena with Judi Dench and Steve Coogan. And I also like August Osage County, the film based on the Pulitzer and Tony Award-winning play that stars Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts. And I'm not a fan of Martin Scorsese's Wolf of Wall Street. I'm a big Scorsese fan, but this one just left me cold.
Award season is underway. Do you perhaps have a personal favorite for Best Picture already?
Well, if you say favorite in terms of who I think is going to win, I'm looking at 12 Years a Slave. If you have, say, favorite in terms of what's my favorite movie, Nebraska is at the top of my list.
What about Best Actor?
I think that Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's in 12 Years a Slave, is pretty much a shoo-in for that, but Robert Redford for All Is Lost might give him a run for his money.
And what about Best Actress?
I think the consensus is this is Cate Blanchett's award to lose for her role in Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine. But a lot of people really like Sandra Bullock in Gravity and Meryl Streep in August Osage County.
Film historian and critic Marshall Fine writes at HollywoodandFine.com and The Huffington Post.
Now, this quote from the news, bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and those men. That was Phil Robertson, star of A&E's Duck Dynasty, in an anti-gay GQ magazine review that led the network to suspend him, though previously recorded episodes of the hit show go on, as do protests by supporters of his conservative Christian philosophy.
Next, tips for high-tech holiday giving for your ears only.